All right. And we are live. Fix your face, Travis. And welcome to the last word with LordCognito, Ebontis, Tie Guy Travis, fresh on that Thursday evening campfire. Very eventful start to the show, and I anticipate a very eventful show indeed. What is going on with the cheetah first? Ebontis, how we doing, sir?
We are doing good. I have actually been working on a little early access preview, so I'm trying to get my, a little something.
Okay, all right. Little
So
bougie access. I like that.
might actually see if
That's
I
a bougie
do. Might
face.
actually do a little. Might see if I can put together a review. I reached out to Travis nicely, and he's like, he might even give me a few pointers and stuff. So we'll see.
Okay, content creation, reviews, and early act. Okay.
We'll see. We'll see. The one I really wanted to cover actually came out early access for the content creators because I think I missed the window to ask for the code today. It's Cult of the Lamb, and I don't know if you guys have seen that one starting to get streamed. It looks. I played the demo, and it was like just long enough that I was like, I want more. So they like perfectly timed the demo, but like Cult of the Lamb is a little roguelike with kind of a dungeon crawler, but also a little town management sim thing at the same time. It was very bizarre, but also like very cute and fun. So that I'm looking forward to, but that comes out like Thursday next week. So I'll definitely be giving that one a try. But the other game I was trying, I will see if I can put my words together on that one. I just don't want to say too much on it for now. So I'll tell you guys after.
At friend DA, let's go.
Yeah. Other than that, just kind of we got 3 weeks. So I've just been slowly like jump on here, do a few bounties, start stockpiling those because we got like the 3-day rush of I'm already gonna have to make like content, explain how the new season loop works, what's the new event, and all that stuff's coming up. So I know, and then the raid theoretically might get some of the old crew back together, but probably have a few gaps in there since I know Nomad is traveling all over the place right now. So we'll have to see, but we'll see what the raid is, and looking forward to the 23rd. Travis, what have you been up to, man? I know you got your big reprieve from Xenoblades. Did you go outside and touch grass finally?
I did not, dude. I got a review assigned to me the day after Xenoblade was done.
Damn.
Fortunately, another really long anime game, so I am doing that.
Is it like Tower of Fantasy, that one that just dropped, or no?
No, I'm 30 hours into Digimon Survive, which is
you're talking about that.
A visual novel that's also a tactics game, and the reason I ended up reviewing it is because we were supposed to get a code while I was still reviewing Xenoblade, but they ended up not giving early access codes and just kept saying they were going to give them to us, and then we didn't get a code until the day the game came out. Which by that point I was done with Xenoblade and available to do it. And it's just a really long game, and I have to do it as quickly as possible since the game is already out. I'm probably not going to be done this week. I'm 30 hours into it, and I don't feel like I'm close to the end. So
wow.
It's going to be a weekend.
I know what I was listening to. Beyond, they were talking about games that like potentially could have been too long or like overstayed, and I think it was Jada who said a previous Digimon game was already long enough, but then if you played for a certain amount of time, your Digimon like got old and you had to rehatch them, so it just like artificially kind of extended it as well, and it was another Digimon game. And I think she said she was starting the one you were talking about too, which she wasn't sure how long it was going to be, or he. Yeah.
Well, it's a visual novel, so you can probably get through pretty quickly, but I mean, I can talk about it because the game is out. I'm not under any kind of embargo, but it's a pretty decent visual novel so far. It tells a pretty good story. It looks really good. It looks like you're watching an anime. It's really cool. The combat is basically like Fire Emblem, and it's pretty mid. It's not the best technical combat. So it does really well in the visual novel stuff. I would say it's like 80% a visual novel and 20% a tactics game, if that. It probably, if anything, less of a tactics game, but the tactics combat ends up being kind of at least so far. I don't know how far close I am to beating the game, but I'm pretty decently through it. So yeah, I'm doing that, and then I'm working on a preview construction simulator, which will also be live next week.
Probably not as good as Power Wash, but yeah,
we'll see, man. As we talked about last week, I'm living up to my my father's hopes and dreams for me of being.
I've been doing that all week too. Yeah,
construction worker.
I've been doing stuff around my house before the new season of Destiny, so it just keeps going. But Cog, what about you? What have you been up to?
Just slowly getting back into it, man. Get my Destiny shoes back on. It's time to come back home. I was away, so I've been slowly just kind of knocking out a lot of the busy work. Obviously, Parasite was done. Just looking at things that I think Arc 3.0 might synergize well. So I didn't realize I was one red border away from Insidious. So from crafting one.
Yeah.
So I need to get into Val, unfortunately. But
I'm one away from submission. I probably should I need to run one with you and just go through, hit the symbols, and at least let me craft one more weapon.
I just need one more. I'm thinking about that. Looking at Risk Runner, looking at I finished the catalyst for Overture, which I didn't realize I didn't complete. So I finished that catalyst for Grand Overture, and then just synergize, just seeing what might be the next thing, you know.
Oh no, Risk Runner I think will be substantially in play, and then what's the bow I'm thinking of that I love now with the catalyst?
Trinity Ghoul is gonna be crazy.
I was like, that one's gonna be good too, especially if it comes back into champion stuff again. I'll be excited for that.
Agree.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
So, like I said, then I have to get Storm Chaser. Like, I still don't have it, so I got to get Storm Chaser. So I'm just doing my last couple of busy work while doing Solstice. But enough about Trespassing, y'all. Shout out to DJ. What's going on? Shout out to Parasite Mission G, man. Yeah, I loved it. It was really funny, hilarious. I love the platform aspect. The voice sounds like an old person. It was hilarious. But anyway, we have a guest that's been very patient.
Indeed.
And we better bring this person in.
So if you guys are not watching the audio or watching the video, please check out the video, skip forward right here, because you guys have noticed there's been a coffee cup on stream. So let me start this right. Welcome to The Last Word, episode number 209. The first thing I want to address is the harassment that Bungie devs have received, and it's worse than we even know. No person deserves to be treated this way, and some of the developers that I've seen, it's just absolutely awful. So please, I just want to ask you guys to stop, breathe, and eat a banana to help balance out the heaping amounts of salt in your life. But really, it's only a video game, so please, there are much more important things to worry about in the world. Let that stuff go. Shout out real quick to the super chat, which we'll play into this one. With that PSA out of the way, the anticipation for the future of Destiny is building as we get ever closer to the showcase, and Crucible is once again the main topic of discussion. And we once again have a perfect guest to discuss the world of PvP. Gaming for our guest started when he got his first console that fitted his hand, and his gaming passion only grew from there. Like many previous guests, he found Halo, and since then, FPSs have been kind of his number one. But his Destiny journey has been a bumpy road until he found the most peculiar of ways to get into this wonderful community, with a pants-wearing train conductor as his shepherd. If you catch a stream of his, you are bound to have a hilarious time. And if you're watching the video, you also already are laughing, I'm pretty sure. Never taking anything too seriously and having success with some of the craziest challenges and builds you may have ever heard of. Flawless trials won't run with only a glaive, maining a bow mostly because it scares the other teams. All that while helping raise over 20,000 for charity and the Bungie Foundation and bring joy and laughter to all those around him. So let's welcome a man who plays Destiny exclusively on Stadia. Yes, he mains the Google streaming platform, hates bananas, and yet uses one as his avatar, so I feel there's a sodium-potassium imbalance we must discuss, and has been to the lighthouse with many people in his backpack. He also enjoys a good donut every now and then and wakes up each and every day and chooses violence for his Twitter posts. Welcome to the show, the one, the only man who actually sleeps in a banana hammock, StadiaTime. How you doing, sir?
Hello. How's it going? Hey, sorry, I don't actually play Destiny 2. I gotta be honest with you. I haven't played Destiny 2 in a long time. It's been like 2 weeks. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been busy. You know, listen, 2 weeks is a long time in the Destiny universe. You lose things for 2 weeks and you're already like missed half the season. So I'm scared. I gotta get back into it.
You already missed the fall of Stadia in that time.
Hey.
Damn.
Yeah, I think they call.
The 9 of us left are still playing. Okay,
listen, man.
Leave me alone.
I think they call 2 weeks one Stadia of time. I think is how long that platform lasted. So yeah.
Fort time. You know, it's still living. You know, It might be on its last legs or something. I don't know. There was like a whole thing that happened like the past weekend where everyone was like, Stadia's finally shutting down. And you hear that like every single month for like the past 3 years. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, if it does, oh well, but like we're still alive. So, we're having a good time.
Isn't it actually shutting down though? Like
No.
There's a rumor about it. That's right.
No, Google legitimately had to make like an announcement and say like, guys, like we're not shutting down. What the hell?
Cool.
So yeah, it's still living.
I enjoyed my time with it.
Yeah, no, it was, listen, Stadia was the number one reason that I even got introduced to any of this stuff, right? And I got introduced to so many content creators just because of Stadia, and just a few chance meetups all of a sudden, which we can get into a little bit later about like trials and the cheaters and like all that fun stuff.
I love how while you shift, your banana arms are kind of doing the whatever, Oh, this is hilarious to watch. Cog, would you like to lead off getting to know our banana guest?
So much to know. So we'll start with game history. I saw some things in the history that really piqued my interest, and I just want to know, like, from your standpoint, what was actually the first thing? I know we're going to get to Destiny and get to everything else, but like, what are those first things that gravitated you towards video games in general?
Oh gosh, well, the first video game that I ever got was Pokemon Emerald on the Game Boy. And it just felt like a really nice release. That's the most things with every single game. Regardless if you're playing Dark Souls 3 and you're like ripping your hair out and having a horrible time until you finally beat the boss 70 times. Don't ask me. I definitely don't know that. Or you're playing like something like, I don't know, like Candy Crush, whatever, right? They're just things, they're little distractions out of your day, but you can really get into them. And Pokemon, it really gave me that kind of outlet back at the time to really just be able to sit down and just enjoy it and listen to the music that they had at the time. And I loved it. And since then I got, I got a Game Boy and I got all these other games on there, or not a Game Boy, sorry, GameCube, same thing. Nice. And then moved to PS1 and then PS2. And then what we said earlier about Halo, when Xbox One came out and the original Halo came out, that immediately, that game sold me on first person shooters from the get-go. Right away, I started only really wanting to play those games because being able to put yourself in the perspective of that character, because it's in first person, it feels a little bit more personable. It feels like you're there. And that's what I really, really enjoyed about it. And so, then things progressed and, Black Ops 1 came out. And that was really the first actual multiplayer game that I really played. That was first person shooter. And something about... Yeah, seriously, beautiful game. And something about going against other players with... how do you put this? Like with the mindset of I'm putting my skills against your skills and who can aim at the head and point faster and more accurate, right? Like that was always a really exciting thing to do. And so that's from there on, because of Black Ops 1, Halo got me into first person shooters, but Black Ops 1 got me into first person multiplayer shooters. And, then Destiny ended up coming out. And before it came out, actually, those little remember that gameplay trailer they showed in the first opening with the one fallen captain or so, and they had I think, what was it, Thunderlord? Yes, Thunderlord, and then there was a sniper rifle, the one where you aim down sights and it made you invisible. Do you remember what the name of that one was?
Patience in Time.
Yeah, Patience in Time. Seeing that trailer just unlocked some hidden part inside of me where I was like, magic, first person, loot, guns, enemies. I love it. It was fantastic. I was so just entranced by it. And then seeing the concept art, I brought up in the listing there that there was this one very specific concept art, and that's the reason why every single one of my characters are exo. I think it might have been in the first mission opening where there's an exo sitting on the ground, leaning back with its head, with its gun on its side.
Yes.
That was supposed to be Rasputin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm learning things still. That image, for some reason, just kind of gave me a vibe of what that game was supposed to feel like. Especially the opening where you see the fallen crush the skull of the skeleton that's in the car, and you start inside there and you go through. And looking back, Destiny 1, my goodness, like it was such a fantastic experience to having played that game. Reminded me so much of Halo, came from the same developers, but I mean, same, different, same, but different. It just sold me from there. I did have a few life stuff that did come up at some point, and I did have to stop playing the game. And then, if I'm not talking too much, I could get into how I got into Destiny 2.
Right before you do that,
go ahead.
I do have to ask, because
go ahead.
your history is very similar to mine as far as FPS, and for Halo, obviously the feel of the gunplay, the music, the story, first person on console, it was just a thing. It was an event, right? But it's funny what you said, because now I look back at it, I'm trying to figure out what was it about Call of Duty that made me betray Halo for a while. And it was that competitive aspect, including the 60 FPS, including Black Ops with, prestiging in the competition, and that constant chase, right? For, okay, if I get this and I unlock this, and then you saw other people in the lobby, their things that they had, it showed their prestige and whatever. It was a thing, right? So it's funny you say that, because that literally drew me into it. And then obviously Destiny, very similar background with me and you in that sense, because it was the wonder of Destiny. It was just like, wow, what is this game? It seems massive, and you see the concept art and all this other stuff. So it's funny you said that, because we kind of have similar histories in our FPS stuff like that. But I will open it back up to E, because I know we got to get into the meat of Destiny. And Travis,
I did the big intro.
Hear
so
how he
Travis
got
is
into
next.
Destiny. I just want to hear that story. I before he does though, I just have to say, I've never seen a banana be so passionate, and the more animated he gets, the more,
I know, it is amazing.
Like, more facial expressions where he's just like, "Oh my god, loot!" and his eyes get big.
Yeah. When you were like, loot enemies, and the eyes went wide, I was like, please, guys, if you catch this on video, go watch like some of this, or catch it on audio. Go find the video, because the banana sitting in a coffee cup that's expressive and wide-eyed, and it's amazing.
Anyway, I want to hear how you got into Destiny, you emphatic banana.
Oh, thank you. God, you're so cute. Well, I was going to say, first of all, I wanted to say, in Halo, in multiplayer, you didn't get to actually make loadouts, correct? If I remember correctly?
That was correct.
Like all the Halo games, you never got to make loadouts. That actually I wanted to bring up with Black Ops 1. The reason why I got into it so much was you could make a loadout, right? And I think that's why with Destiny, with its PvP, I know Destiny's PvP might not be the most competitive thing compared to other games, but there's still a competitiveness to it for the people who play it, right? Yes. And so having that kind of way where you make loadouts from weapons you find or weapons that you farmed was like a whole nother way to play a first-person shooter, in my opinion, that just made it more exciting to play, because it felt like if someone killed you with something that, like, it wasn't just an unlockable thing you had to get to level 25 to do, you know what I mean? You actually had to go out and farm it and finally get it. My goodness, like, that was beautiful. But yeah, to continue, I had some life stuff come up, and I had to stop playing Destiny 1, probably, I think, before Trials came out, or just as Trials came out.
Right, and before House of Wolves, like,
I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, it has been a very long time since I've played. And there was a giant gap. And, life happens, life stuff happens. You kind of fall out of certain feelings of certain games. And then when Destiny 2 came out, the beta specifically, I played it. And as much as I really did like it, I was like, this didn't really feel that much different. So I'm going to wait for a little while before getting back into the game, because I was completely addicted to Battlefield 4 and Warframe.
Oh, Battlefield
4. Oh my god.
Levolution.
Oh, the skyscraper on the best. Yes. Fantastic. I still can't believe like what they're doing, honestly, with these current Battlefield games, and not tapping back into the absolute like magicalness of Battlefield 4 and the Levolution, being able to flood an entire map by shooting out the dam, right? And then changing the fights from being on the ground into the skyscrapers. Like, what the come on. Like, can we get this again, please?
It was mind-blowing for its time. I mean, the mechanic became redundant after a while, but when you first did it and you see how it dynamically changed the map, it was like, this is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, no, it was amazing. But yeah, I got so into Warframe as well. It was a very grindy game, but like, beautiful. And then Stadia was announced from Google. And when I heard, I'm very big into tech. I love technology. I think technology is crazy. And when Google was like, hey, by the way, we're going to come out with a way to stream your games over the cloud. So any screen that you have, as long as you have a decent internet connection to it, you'll be able to play games. And I was like, seems a little bit too good to be true, but I'm gonna put my money forward. I'm going to pre-order it, and I'm going to be a founder for it because I really think this is something that's really cool that could happen. And Destiny 2 ended up being one of the promotional attachments to being a founder. So if you were a founder, it came with Destiny 2 and every DLC that came up since then. And Destiny 2 at the time has been out for a while, and I think Shadowkeep was already out. There was like 2 other DLCs, or 1 other DLC, I think there was. And so, Stadia came out, and I made my account, and I played the game on my like tiny little MacBook on Wi-Fi at my college and everything, and it worked flawlessly. There are issues, yes, for some people if the internet is a little bit weird and everything, but it worked flawlessly. And I started playing Destiny 2, and I was like, oh my God, this game evolved so much since the beta, and I'm having a fantastic time with this. And it was the amount of friends, like good personal friends I made on Stadia, because it was its own matchmaking. You had PC matchmaking before crossplay. You had PS4, you had PS4, you had Xbox, but then you also had Stadia. And if you keep in mind, Stadia at the time on Destiny 2 had like 9,000 players. I think it ever hit a max of like 20,000 players, and then it just settled around 10,000, and that was it. So you ran into the same people over and over and over and over, but like you made friends because of it. You would literally go to a public location, and you'd run into somebody you saw yesterday, and you like actually be in a voice chat, like invite them and say, hey, how's it going, and then leave. And then like 2 days later, you'd run into the exact same person on like another planet on a different public event and everything, and then you'd be like, hey, how's it going, and like you just talk to each other. And it reminded me of like what Destiny felt like originally, because it made a family. And that's actually how I started my clan. Every single like reset on Tuesday, we did Garden of Salvation and everything, and it was very sweet experience.
Nice. This is classic, man. This is, oh man, so much to get from this, because what's interesting to me before I pass it to you is that you stepped away from the Destiny, but Stadia brought you back with the introduction of Destiny 2. And then I remember that deal. Bungie made the announcement. They had the content packet. It was a great packet, like to kind of launch the service. And I remember that it was definitely transformative. And similar to you, yes, I'm very love tech. Even people that were scoffing at it, I said, look, the tech is actually good.
Yeah.
If you play
the fact that it works,
yeah. Now,
in general, is like what?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
You're thousands of miles away from like where the game is being played, and if your internet is really good, like you can legitimately. I played Stadia on the woods on my phone. Don't ask why I was in the woods. I just was, and I was just playing on my phone.
The bodies are buried, but that's fine.
You do what you got
to go visit your family.
Do what you got to do.
You go visit your family out in the woods where the rest of the bananas are still hanging in the tree. So.
Oh man, oh yeah.
Okay, so we have to obviously bring up the banana in the room, because I was gonna say elephant, but I had to go banana in the room. Obviously, like your Twitter name, your profile, your Stadia time makes perfect sense. You play on Stadia, and you got back into it for trials, and also the idea of like the trials cheating and stuff like that. How did the banana become the persona? Now, it's not always a banana in a cup. Maybe it's on the side of a screen, but how did you choose? Where did the banana persona come from? And then what made you stick with it? Have you thought about changing it up? Like, I got to know the banana story now. And we're actually talking about the fruit, guys.
So like the banana stuff happened after I ended up meeting Fallout on Stadia and everything when they came over from the cheaters on trials. They wanted to try Stadia out because you couldn't cheat on there. And that's when I kind of got into wanting to do streaming or try Twitch out, right? And at the time, I was like, there are so many people trying to stream on Twitch, so many, that if you just put up a webcam, you just have some fancy backgrounds, you might be really, really fun to listen to. But I feel like having something that's fun to watch as well was something that sets you apart from all the other people who are trying to start on that platform. Everyone's mom and dad is trying to, try it out, and you got to hit it off somehow. And I was like, how funny would it be if I was just a banana for some reason? And my roommates at the time, when I told them about that, they were like, do it, please do it, it'll be so fucking funny. I swear to them there, but they were like, it's gonna be so funny. And I'm like, you know what, okay, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And I found a way to make this work and everything. And the first stream went in, and it went really, really, really well. And people came in, and they're like, "Are you a banana?" I'm like, "What does it look like?" Yes. And the amount of
This
friends
is why
I've
you
made
guys
from
need
it,
to be on video right now, please.
and it keeps people there, right? And some people watch for like the Destiny gameplay. Other people watch because they're like, okay, well, I'm just spending my time here watching a banana float in the sky, showing his bum sometime in a little cup. It's part of the fun. And the cup actually ended up happening. That whole trend on Twitter, the hot tub streams.
Yes.
Yes. So I initially tried doing that with the banana, and I was like, all right, this isn't working out. But I was like, what's funnier? What if I, instead of a hot tub stream, I did a hot mug stream? And so that is where the coffee cup came from, because I have like this little command on the stream where you do it, and me and my roommates all recorded a bunch of like voice files of us sipping coffee and everything, and some like little like there's like percentages for certain ones to happen, like when we accidentally spilled it on ourselves and we're going, oh my god, and all this stuff. And so people will do that, and you'll hear a little sip in the background or whatever. And I just thought it was funny, also being able to like, do this and peek out ever so often, and have again and just have a good time,
The amount of things that you do with the banana, like just the little wavy animations, as you said, you can kind of pick yourself up and kind of show them the tip of the banana. Somebody mentioned like the Spider-Man kiss or something, which sounds
we can do that at the end if you want.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
that's the after dark. That's
the post show. You got to subscribe for that one.
He can do that for you at the end. That was exclusive.
Well, I mean, he did invite me to the show, so it's only right that I
only
show
right.
affection. Yeah,
I'm done. I am done. Stadia Time is lit right now. I love it. Good. This is too good. So, like, question: was it?
Yeah.
Or was the initial iteration? Like, did it evolve into, as far as like, because right now it's like super animated. You got the facial, everything is just popping right now. So it's like my question is, was there like early stage where or was it like this day one, and then you just been doing other things around the persona and everything that you did going on?
From day one, I made sure that my scenes kind of had these little borders on them. I looked at a lot of Twitch streams for Destiny, and most of them just has the gameplay in the background. And I was like, a border might take a little bit away from the gameplay screen, but I think it just adds a little bit of character to the stream. So I had a border on there. I had a good little talking screen where like it was up close, but I didn't have the mug at the time. I just had the little mic I got here, right? And I had the chat on the side, and it was pretty much what you're seeing. Without the mug. This is just a specific scene that I made for Discord when I'm streaming through OBS. Using my stuff here. But I did evolve it a little bit over time by adding mostly effects. I think that's one of the biggest benefits that I have by doing this rather than just having my camera, is that I can have random things that happen that like affect me. So if people in the chat spam the word banana, and they're like, I think it's 3 people within 15 seconds, like this gorilla comes out of nowhere and puts me in a bag and then beats the hell out of me. And then throws me back on the screen, and it's so good. It's so funny when people randomly get that to work. It makes no sense, and people love that, right? And then having other stuff like a little.
I was like, what else? I was like, I gotta know, besides the gorilla, what else? What are these other crazy things that happen?
Well, people are able to like change the color. Well, right now,
they want to see it. I'm sorry.
They're trying to get the banana triple going right now.
Make it happen. It's funny right now. I apologize for interrupting. Continue.
No, it's okay. Like I kind of showed over here. People can change the color of the banana whenever they want. When they're feeling a little bit spicy and they want a little bit of purple, they want a little bit of like a blue, right? They want a little bit of a green. It gives them the opportunity just to edit the things a little bit more in that sense. But because it's me, right, I can move around rather than it just being a static color in the background. So, it's just another fun thing for people to be able to do. And there's like a little disco effect where when we got their trials tickets, this disco ball would come down from the top. And then like the lights would start flashing in here and everything. And I just started like fucking dancing, just having fun. And it was just funny. It was a good time. And then at some point I was like, you know what I want to do? I want to do custom transitions and stream start transitions. So what I ended up doing was, you know that thing in SpongeBob where it was like the burger really far back, and the guy's like introducing like da 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 da. Yeah. So I changed it. So it's the mug that slowly starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until it like fills up the screen, and then it's like introducing and then swaps to the other screen. And it's just little things you can do like with this that I just thought makes the stream just so much fun to be able to watch. And then also the anime transition. I can probably show you guys that a little bit later, but
okay.
the anime transition is
intro.
top notch.
No doubt.
It's top notch.
I was gonna say, and I was like, "Are we still in the banana? Or are we going back?" I was gonna go back to Destiny. Is that?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, we can go back to Destiny if you want to. I mean, I don't care.
Yeah,
So fine.
because I got to follow up.
things.
Yeah, with
Okay,
Destiny
yeah.
too.
No, so I wanted to kind of ask you. Obviously, you've been to the lighthouse many times. You've helped people and things like that. That's kind of one of those things that you enjoy doing. But the idea is, some of the stuff you do in trials is. If I went against you, I would probably just like quit trials for the day sometimes because of the fact that you do like, hey, it's triple glaives and we're still going to go flawless to the lighthouse. And it's like stuff like that you've done. And the fact that you like main bow, which I think only Mercules is the other one who probably does that. But like, there's not a lot, there's a lot. So are you like intentionally anti-meta or just like trying to find some of the weirdest things and still make them work? Or what's the intentionality behind your kind of loadout choices that you do now?
So in most games that I've played, PvP games specifically, I've always kind of been the like you said, the anti-meta, using things that aren't normally used. And I don't know if that's like a weird pride thing, like, oh man, I hate getting killed by this gun. I'm never going to use this gun, right? Or I don't know if it's just like I want to be able to get so good with this weapon that everyone kind of memes on and said is not that great of a weapon. And then people go like, holy crap, is this thing actually that good? Right. And so, you know, back in real quick in like Battlefield 4, do you remember how the phantom bow in that game? Yes. You have to do so many convoluted things to get a bow in like a game that's supposed to be realistic shooting and everything. And it was the worst weapon in the game. And I made it my number one weapon used. And it's just, there's just something fun about it. And so when I additionally heard Destiny 2 had bows, I was like, yes, please. I want to give it to me. And I got a few bows, and I cannot wait to talk about a certain bow and a certain role on that bow that people really need to get into because my goodness, she is nasty.
No doubt. Yeah, I was gonna ask you about like just in general. One thing that really caught my eye was Warlock love and a specific subclass of Warlock that I think I agree with you that doesn't get the proper respect. Talk about that Shadebinder. Talk about that Stasis in the future. Throwing out a couple of double turrets. What's the gloves names with the old Omnicrassy? I can't pronounce it. Whatever.
Osmo. Yeah.
You got it. Like, so tell me, like, that Shadebinder, man. How did that start in your appreciation for that class?
Well, if I remember correctly, Shadebinder came out, and at the time, the melee was admittingly disgusting. Traveling so fast, having an insane AoE on the thing, freezing for 4 seconds.
We gotta have something. We gotta have something.
We have to have something.
And I have to, yeah, you had plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah, Stasis was clearly the best. Continue.
Yeah. It was crazy. It was insane. It was honestly insane. And then they got a little bit of a tuning, and all of a sudden, the Shadebinder usage just poof, dropped, gone. You know, and I barely see it anymore. And I started. Like I said, I do trials carries. At least I haven't been able to do it lately because college ended and I came back home and now I'm looking for a job. I got a job actually, and I got to move by the end of the month. So I haven't been able to stream very much anymore, but I would always do trials carries every Friday and Saturday. I started on Stadia, and then when crossplay came out, I did it on PC and Xbox, even a while on Stadia, kind of as a little, hey, look, Stadia might be made fun of, but I can still carry people even on PC. Right. So it's kind of like it's one of those things where you just feel good when you manage to make it work when people meme on the platform, you know? And I tried so many different builds on all the characters. And the one character I kept on coming back to, the one subclass, was constantly Shadebinder. And it's because of a specific aspect that I swear to God, nobody uses.
Which one?
Like Frost Pulse.
Frost Pulse, baby. Let's go.
Frost Pulse.
Don't get close to me.
Nope. It's a personal shotgun that guarantees a kill, baby. And
Yes.
I cannot stress enough how much people need to stop for a moment, wait a minute, get on Shadebinder, put on that aspect, go to PvP, and have a gosh darn amazing time. Because you press that rift button when you know someone's pushing you real quick on that radar, you freeze them, you melee, dead. Right? You got the little tracking bolts that go after you kill a frozen player. Grab another one, melee, dead. Supers, freeze them, hit them with something else, with team shot, melee, dead. It's such a great anti-ape.
Yes, anti-ape. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, good point.
And for pushing, actually. I think the video I did with Patty Cakes, he has the clip in the background, but the way that I use Frost Pulse very specifically is I use it as a team wipe potential. And by that, I mean, if we get someone down and there's a ghost and the ghost is just right there, and I know the enemy's about to revive that ghost, you know how you can do the slide into your barricade or rift? So what I do is I stick around a corner while crouched, so I'm off the radar. They start that revive on the ghost, and then as I'm sprinting towards them, I slide and I do the freeze. And then when they revive somebody, they both get frozen, and that allows me to melee the person who got revived, shatter them, and it instant kills both of them. And if all three people are within 3 meters of each other, instant team wipe. And there is a clip on Patty's video that he did post, I think 2 days ago or so, if you ever look at that interview that I did with him. And it is insane. It is insane. It really is. And
That's
people
sick.
really need to put some time into using it.
That's sick, bro. Wow. Didn't even know about that. Shout out to Patty Cakes. Attaboys. Salute. That's crazy.
Fantastic guy.
I had to get
Ultra
Warlock
nice guy.
love off of that one because I see he shared that.
Well, Travis, you got anything else for the banana in a cup? Or shall we see what's going?
I feel like I'm just a viewer today. I'm just enjoying
Yeah, to see Travis completely like, you know, this is not normal Travis. You have transformed. He doesn't know how to
he doesn't watch. He's always like, you're trying to get all of his words in, and you know,
Like
everything.
into the head of Travis is just like, what am I watching?
Yeah, I'm literally just aghast at what's happening. I'm like, today I'm just a commenter. Yeah.
Salute. What's going on in this game?
Yeah, no, it was like, before we get there, I wanted to ask, do you have a quick couple of questions? Which raid would you like to see in season 18?
Good one.
I would say the one raid that I'm really excited for. Now, I never got a chance to do, what was the Siva based raid?
Oh, you did Wrath.
Wrath of the
I
Machine.
never did Wrath. I I would like to see Wrath come back just so I would get the experience of doing Wrath. But what I'm thinking about them, King's Fall with Oryx, that raid unlocked a part of me that I swear I still carry with me. The whole campaign, the introduction of him, the raid opening where this giant Titan-sized winged creature flies out in space and everything, grabs the edge, and he's like, "You little shits, I'm gonna kill you!" Right? I loved it. I thought it was amazing, and God, my goodness, it was beautiful. That's one I really want to see back. I would love to see Wrath just because I've never done it before and I want to do it. But honestly, King's Fall, please give me it now.
Do you have a top exotic weapon or two currently that are like favorites for you?
Oh, honey, do I have a top exotic weapon? And that would be Ariana's Vow.
I like it on screen. Like he was like, "Yo, right here,
prepared, baby.
This boy,
right there, right.
Let me tell you about Stadia Time. This guy has gotten more use out of his Stream Deck than any person that has ever purchased a Stream Deck.
Yes.
Let me tell you, dude, this guy is the best purchase he's ever made, without a doubt.
It was a great investment. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So can I ask a question?
We don't talk about that.
I hear your guys' clan is called Banana Bunch.
Oh, that is the Discord. Yeah, so we have I have a little bit of Discord. I didn't make it until like months into starting streaming because I was like, oh man, I don't want to bother people with like another Discord. But after things got, after we managed to pass 1,000 followers on Twitch and everything, I was like, you know what? Okay, well, let's make one. And we were coming out with a bunch of names, and we were like, I love the Banana Bunch. I just think that's a really cute thing for a community. And then we have Times Square, like like New York thing, as like little the general chat for everyone. So yeah, Banana Bunch is kind of what I like to call my cuties.
My submission would have been the Banana Republic.
That's pretty good too.
Yeah, they have some pretty good banana themed boxers. Actually, I was gonna pick up a pair.
I can't imagine why.
Me neither.
Banana Bunch, Banana Republic. Yeah, I'd say those are both pretty solid.
Those are solid.
But yes, to answer Ebontis' question, Ariana's Vow has been my #1 exotic weapon for a very long time. Actually, since before Beyond Light and after Beyond Light came out and the Shadebinder class came out, there are some interactions with Ariana's Vow that you can do with the melee that unlock, I feel like, Ariana's Vow's potential, especially with the way that I personally use it, because I use a swap build with bows. And when you swap from a bow to Ariana's, you're basically getting max range 2-shot bodies on the first hit, because Death at First Glance only activates if you when you aim down sights for that first body shot, goes away unless it's a headshot. So there's a lot of fun things you can do with it. But with Shadebinder, a lot of people don't know, at least I haven't seen anyone else try this or ever do this, but the melee from Shadebinder, when it hits somebody, it does 30 damage, right? Ariana's Vow, because it's a special weapon, it gets a 5% damage buff on frozen targets. And when you have Death at First Glance active and you're aiming down sight, it buffs the damage on a frozen target to 176. So
guaranteed
if you hit someone, so if you hit someone with that freeze melee and they're frozen, they can't go anywhere. You hit them once in the head, they shatter, they're dead, transfers over to the next person from the little crystals that look for another player, and you get another free kill. And I use that for very frequently predicting when people are running around a corner or corner peaks for where snipers are, or especially, like I said earlier, with the Frost Pulse and the ghosts. There's a ghost that's about to be revived. I wait till I hear that little pinging sound. I toss that melee, freeze both of them, and then we just team shot and they're dead instantly. It's such a good team shot class, especially a 1v3 class because of Frost Pulse. Because people normally in a 1v3, those 3 people, like, there's one person, just rush them. Just go for it. Just go for it quick. Nah, honey, not if I got a Frost Pulse, because I hide around the wall, I time it, I watch that radar, throw it down, freeze 2 people, melee, shatter them both, go for the third one, Swashbuckler, boom, headshot, dead. Easy. And I love it. And I love it quite a bit.
That's fire. I like how you think it as a great defensive maneuver.
Defensive and offensive, actually. Offensive is the biggest thing. Like, people think Frost Pulse, okay, just use it as a stationary, they're going to come to you. No, you go to them. No, you go to them. They're behind that corner. Baby, you just do a slide rift into a freeze, you freeze them both, they're dead. That's it. They're done,
Fire.
Travis?
I'm assuming one last question. Slide shot is a part of your builds, and that was it. I was going to ask that last question. Slide shot as a perk, is that something that you kind of synergize with it?
No.
Okay, just curious. No, continue, Travis.
No, Travis. Since we do have a
show, we have a long running segment, and the segment is called "Let's Help Ebontis." It is for the people who play Destiny who have a less than savory KDA in the Crucible and are looking to get good, if you will. And so we have people who are PvP mains come on the show and give us their top tip for getting good at Crucible. And who better than to give a tip than someone with so much appeal?
God, I can't love you enough.
I mean, he separates himself from the bunch. You know what I mean, guys?
Judge.
It's really important. So, before you have to split,
you're gonna make him. Oh my god! You're gonna make him blush over here. He's gonna turn different colors on us again.
I mean, you keep on complimenting me too much, I'm gonna have to steal you.
Yeah. So if he,
he's got a pirate hat.
If he,
I'm gonna plunder that booty.
Noise. if he wanted to get good at Crucible, what would he have to do? What would you? Could you draw him up a plan, Tane?
You see, the lovely thing I find about Destiny is PvE is your PvP trainer. Simple as that, right? I mean, if you have friends who can give the time to be able to go into a private lobby and practice a few things, and I'll get into what people really should practice, but PvE is just an absolutely lovely way to be able to go in there and relax, but specifically aim to train for PvP. In that sense, you always aim for headshots. You look at where your positioning is. You're going to look like an asshole running Lake of Shadows like you're doing Trials Round 7, but when you get into Trials Round 7, you're going to know a little bit more about where you are in your surroundings, if that makes sense. And so I always say, like, if someone wants to start out in PvP, let's be honest, Destiny can be it might be very forgiving in a sense with like the aim assist and the bullet magnetism, but because everybody has that, when the really good players have that too, they're really, really good players. And so when a new player tries to start PvP and they're just getting absolutely like mowed down by all these players, they need a safe place that they can go into where they can practice, which is why I'm happy that Bungie did say something about implementing a soft skill-based matchmaking, because it does allow those players to only match against newer players initially until they get a little bit better at a time and be able to handle those situations. But I always say, yeah, just do a bunch of strikes. Right? Do your quest stuff, but then do a bunch of strikes and treat those strikes, those PvE matches, like they're PvP. And don't go for just, I'm just going to kill this thing real quickly with body shots. Like, very specifically, you want to get good with a sniper, only aim for headshots. Only aim for headshots, because that'll train. It'll like, you'll build that muscle memory to be able to aim for that zone that you need that crit at. And I know PvE hitboxes are different from PvP, but it's a very nice casual way to just practice your aim throughout the day without having that struggling, suffocating feeling of like, my goodness, like I'm doing terrible. I'm getting killed constantly. My team's getting killed constantly. They're probably angry at me. And it's a nice place. And, you know, as you get better, you go into control. And one of the biggest things people really, I feel like, mess around with is their positioning, where they are on the map, right? Corners are seriously your best friend. Having a side to be able to dip back into when you're caught in a bad location is very important to know where you are on the map. You don't even need to know the map. You just need to know, I'm next to a wall. I'm not in the middle in the opening, right? And so if someone pops up out of nowhere and I'm failing this fight, I can just back out around it and recover a little bit, wait for a teammate. I find a lot of new players just gung-ho and just stand still in like an open spot, right? Or don't understand really where they're going and don't go with their team. So yeah, you really do need to understand like positioning most of all. Gunplay will come as it goes, right? You get better with aiming just by playing the game. And that's the nice thing about PvE is it trains your aim most of all. But PvP, you really got to know your positioning. And so it's kind of like a little dance. It's a little tango you got to do along the way by taking care of both things, but mostly that positioning. Your aim will develop the more you play, right? If that helps at all.
Yeah, no. I always like to hear, that's kind of always interesting to hear. Everybody's always got a different take or slightly different variation, or just, you know, kind of the main way to help a beginner in the world of PvP. I always appreciate the way it's usually phrased by the PvP gurus, and they all tend to come out well. Yours was no different. You absolutely nailed it. So I like what I'm hearing there. Well, I think that has been a hilarious introduction to our banana in a cup. And we do actually have some current stuff going on in the world of Destiny. This is the last week of Solstice. Did want to check and see if anyone in this podcast has done much Solstice, check the boxes, or not. Hey, I got a thumbs up from Travis. What about you, Kyle?
I got my seal, man. I did
there
it
you
all.
go.
Oh, nice.
Wow. You got the seal? I'm impressed.
Yeah, I did it. They call me SEAL Team 6 because I'm so have that seal. Yeah, I didn't much like the event, but it was nice junk food after in between reviews. So I just spent like, you know, a couple hours, a couple nights just getting through it. And yeah, it's you know, like we've talked about it a million times about how they need to clean up the event, but I did do it, which it makes me feel like I'm my bona fides are back. I was feeling pretty bad there. A month not playing Destiny because of the anime review. So good times.
Yeah, just been casually in there, getting the little bonfires, getting my ash. Shout out to DJ, he was in there with me. He's trying to play catch up. So what's funny is teaching someone the mechanic, and you're like, all right, so we got to go in there. Then we're gonna get this thing, and then you're gonna put this kindling thing, and then you're gonna put the kindling thing in the thing, and then you're gonna imbue it, and then just gonna change the stats, and then just seeing him with the loop, and then just remember, you gotta play other stuff to get the leaves. Don't go in there without the leaves. And the funny, the game tell you like, don't go in here without you ain't got no leaves. So I think it's funny that the
Does
game
it tell you
reminds
if you try and start it, you don't have
Yes,
leaves?
it'll
Oh,
be like,
man.
by the way, you ain't got enough currency to be in here. So I thought that was
This
kind
is
of
basically, you're just doing volunteer work in here. You need to
it's
go out
pro
somewhere
bono.
else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was aggressively not worth it, is how I would describe getting the seal. And the armor also not really worth it. I didn't really get any armor that I couldn't have gotten from Zur, every week, just buying that. So it
for me it was just about the glow, because I was like, all right, literally I was like, because this I'm doing Destiny now, so I'm like, all right, Arc 3.0 is coming. I got my Insidious. I'm looking at my builds, how I'm gonna rock. So I said, okay, let me find a nice little. I found this fire shader for the new the Solstice gear, in like a dark hueish blue, very icy. Warlock's ready, and I got my Crown of Tempest ready to go, and I got my other little outfit. What's that? The one that the Storm Trance, that when you use it and you get kills, it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And then if you kill a lot of enemies with it, you have like half of your super or stuff like that. It's a great Stormcallers something. I forget. It's a great
Stormbracer's Trance or something. Oh no,
yep. Stormbrace. I love that. It's highly underrated. So I've been using those two. I'm just getting my synergy. So literally, I'm in Solstice to look good, to get the gear that I want, and put the flames on it. And I was like, all right, I'm good now. I'm outside. So that's what I did. But yeah, to Travis's point, it was. Yeah, I was like, I don't think I'm doing that serious. And you know what it was too that de-incentivized me was, I usually like the Solstice shirt, and I was like, this shit,
The bright orange one.
yeah,
I was like, I don't know if this skin tone and bright orange is working.
I
So I
can't
was
be out
like,
here
it may
looking
not
like
be
a
the best.
tangerine on this right here. Like, nah, was it? DJ just said it looked good because he's committed, because he's got every other Solstice shirt. He knows it doesn't look good.
It's because he's a dusty white guy with no style taste. That's his problem.
He might be jealous.
Oh yeah, no, it's like I joked. I even showed the shirt to my wife, and I was like, I don't really know if that works. And I was like, I could get the tank top. She's like, do it.
You gonna get the tank top?
See, it would just fall off right off of me. So it's not like
you don't have shoulders.
I don't have an opinion.
Hey, we got our serving of fruit here. We need a serving of beef too.
Yeah, we got the beef box.
Yeah. I'll get my spaghetti strap tank top on and get booted off stream or something in here. So
you gotta wear the cutoff, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
Sun's out, guns out.
Oh, let me see that midriff, baby.
Yeah, midriff out, tramp stamp visible. Yeah.
Even a midriff would be hilarious. I ain't gonna front. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I'm not ordering the shirt either. But yeah, the thing that I saw, because I saw Scaro tweet about this, is this week, the final week, they fixed the double and triple progression for your alternate characters. This is like this is the weirdest timing, unfortunately, because if it would have been in the second week, like week 2, more people would probably have been like, okay, I went to. But if you get 2 weeks into the event, people are like, all right, I'm going to either grind it out and it's just going to suck, or I'm just not going to do it. Now it's like kind of too little too late, but also a slap into the face of the people who did it. It's this weird timing thing. So I wasn't excited to see that was supposed to be a thing. And then now it's 2 weeks into the event. So in the final week, you get the bonus progression. I don't know, but they didn't also say it was coming. So I don't know if it was like they didn't know if they were going to get it fixed or not. So it just was, the weird timing I just didn't love. And it's either like, or if people were like on the fence, do you really think they're going to come back in the final week? I don't know. It was just a little strange, but yeah, that seems
just
to be a
alternate characters too. Like, why would you? What's the point of that?
I think if you want to go for the glows for the other characters, that's literally it. I think.
I think we can all 4 of us. What am I talking about? All 4 of us agree. Yeah, I was looking at you guys. So beautiful.
3 people and a banana.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, yeah, all 3 of us can all agree that the main thing that's really shutting down these events is how convoluted it doesn't have to be. right? When Transmog first came out, you had to farm to get this, and then turn this into that, and then buy this, and then turn that into that, and then turn this into that so you can get that. And it's like, why? Why do you have to do all this stuff? Like, and then they finally changed it where they're like, okay, you just get this one quest, you do what you need to do, and you turn the damn thing in, and you get your gosh darn armor. All right, I want to look fancy. And then this mode comes out, and they're like, okay, you got to do other missions to get this, and then do this mission to get that. And I'm like, why couldn't you have just made it so the amount of dunks you make grant you the thing you have to do the other missions for, and then at the end of the exact same mission, they automatically get turned into whatever it is, right? You earn both things from the same exact objective, and now there's no, oh shit, now I gotta do like 50 more strikes, right? There's just focus on that one mission, get everything done quickly, right? It's not like it's gonna be super fast, right? It's still gonna take time to do, but it makes it more streamlined and more approachable instead of wondering, oh shit, I just realized I did this mission 5 times in a row and I didn't have the goddamn thing. And then you have to
Yeah. I was like, for me, I'm in the same boat as it's this weird balance of if I just did the bonfire bash over and 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 over, and that was the way you did the event, that would also get to be tiring. But on the other side, every single solstice event that we get to just exacerbates how stale the other playlists are. Like, okay, so what's the best way to do it? Probably go on strikes, and it's like, and it was like Nightfalls actually seemed to be a good balance, and then I got to be something and then Wellspring for certain one of the challenges was pretty good. But there's certain, you figure out what the couple are, and then you're like, okay, now I'm just doing the other thing multiple times. But when they throw you in strikes, no one wants to play Gambit. Crucible's there, but it's like the strike playlist that got so stripped down after the DCV, every time they throw us back in there, you're reminded, like, I feel like I've run this strike like 3 times, and then you somehow, there's not even that many strikes, but there's enough, but yet you play the same like 2 or 3 over and over and over. It's just this weird repetition when they take you into the basic playlists. And that's, I guess, one of the things that, again, I could hope for a Lightfall for some kind of rejuvenation there. It's like they have Nightmare Hunts, they have PsyOps Battlegrounds, which could go into there. They already put the regular Battlegrounds in there. I'm just like, if you want to push us into the Vanguard Ops playlist for lots of things, put it all in there. I was like, so I'm just hoping at some point that gets a little bit better. But no, I'm with you guys too. It's them. I know they're trying to probably help engagement and be like, hey, if we make you guys go to other playlists later in the season, there's going to be more people in the playlist for everybody. But then you're reminded of why you don't really want to go in the playlists. And then you go in and then you realize how Stadia said it could just be very simple. You go in there, however many you dunk, that's how much dust you get and you're out. And it's like, why is that so difficult? It's not. And that's the problem is it could be very simple. And every time we get something, it's frustratingly convoluted. And I guess we'll see how it goes next season.
But there can't be any way that the people who are developing it they're doing a fantastic job. They're probably doing what they're being told to do.
Of course,
you know, they almost guaranteed know that everyone's like, guys, like this is a little bit too much. Like 1, 2 steps, fine. 3, 4 steps, you're pushing a little bit. You know what I mean? And so, you know, it sucks because then they're the ones that take the brunt of it because everyone's like, what are these developers doing? They're so blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you know, you do have to cut them some slack because, again, it's not like they're the ones that can just be like, guys, we need to stop this. You know, they have higher ups that tell them different things. But it does sometimes make you wonder a little bit, like, at what point are they going to realize that proper little how much time and effort actually needs to go into these things that people will want to come back? Because I'll be honest, the most fun that I've had with this entire event was DreamWorks Bug. Being able to overload certain weapons. I don't know if you saw the 10,000 round Sweet Business video that I put on my Twitter. Yeah. So much fun. I had an absolute blast with that, and that wasn't even the event. And so when that got patched, I'll be honest, I just stopped playing the event. I'd finished my Warlock. I don't know. I was just gonna buy with Bright Dust the armor set for the Titan and the Hunter and just call it a time. I've been playing other games at the moment, just waiting for this season, kind of just because the campaign for the season of the Haunted, beautiful, Smexy, all right, fantastic. They did a great job with the actual missions and like the story and feeling for Caiatl and Zavala and Eris and everyone, really understanding where their headspace is and how, you know, everything's kind of piecing together with Callus. They did a great job with that. But once that was over, it's like, yay, bye, and go do something else, right? Like it feels a little bit like that, and you know. I'm sure it's going to pick up next season. I'm sure there's going to be something that's going to bring us in for quite a long time. You know, they're introducing a different game mode, I think, next season, right?
Yep.
For Crucible.
We'll get to kind of
we'll get to
that thing, but
yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually a perfect lead into the Iron Banner 411 for Season 18. So Iron Banner will not be Rift next season. I know some people will be happy, some people will be sad. Rift is not totally gone, though. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. But basically, they said the core vision started as a conversation like, what if, when you went on kill streaks, Saladin shouted, "He's on fire!" Or he shouted, "Boom shakalaka!" And all the chaos went from there. And then they said Eruption was born. So what is Eruption? This is what Iron Banner is going to be in Season 18. Eruption is Clash with energy boost based on kill streaks. So it was affectionately called Streak Mayhem internally before we gave it a real name. During Eruption, killing your opponent scores 1 point and a normal amount of energy. After that, when you get a second elimination in a row, so we're literally getting to like Call of Duty kill streaks, you start lightly glowing. This is like kill number 2. You start generating 10% super, or kills start generating 10% super and 20% for all your abilities. So theoretically, if you get 6 kills, you're probably going to refill your abilities and then half of your super, and your score is 3 points per kill instead of 1. So it's going to be huge for streaks. When you get your 5th kill without dying, you become primed. The previous stage was surging, sorry. You begin glowing brightly. Your team goes on the hunt, which you kind of don't do in other modes. Everyone on the team gains 5% super and 10% grenade, melee, and class energy. You gain 12% super and 5% grenade, melee, and class energy per kill if you keep going after 5, and you get 3 points per kill. Sounds great. Who wouldn't want to be primed? Well, you have a 15-second cooldown timer. If the timer reaches 0, you erupt, which kills you and resets your streaks. So if you don't get if you get to 5 and then don't get another kill, you erupt. So they're definitely forcing that person to be aggressive. Stadia will be totally fine since he just loves the push. You are then also marked for both teams. So everyone can see right where you are. The other team gets 3 points for killing you. And then more than one player can be primed at a time. So they're excited to get Eruption in everyone's hands. We hope it continues to illustrate our desire to bring new and unique experiences to Crucible. And they said, and then I think it's going to be for 3 weeks. They mentioned it somewhere. There's 3 Iron Banners next season. Yep, there you go.
That's it as well.
Yeah, so week 1, 8, and 14. So, yep. While Rift won't be an Iron Banner next season, it will be in a weekly rotator. So, okay, so that's just, that's the Rift piece, sorry. But yeah, so Iron Banner will be, it sounds like, it will be this Eruption event next week, or next season. So I wanted to see what you guys think about the streaks, the benefits, the takeaways, kind of where we at. And Banana, I think you get to go first. I know Travis is excited.
Yeah, it's different, and I like that. You know, it's kind of like they said initially, like kind of like a mayhem, but you have to do something in order to get those super abilities and your abilities back faster. I enjoy that because it kind of it reminds me of almost like Black Ops 1 kill streaks. You know, you get those kills and you get that nice little UAV, right? You put that up in the air and then you be able to push. You get that little machine gun that you put a little in the corner.
The UAV is online.
Oh yeah, a little RCXD, right?
Yes.
I think it was Black Ops 2. But yeah, no, it kind of reminds me of that. You're kind of, yes, the players that are, you know, at the maybe more experienced level are the ones that are mostly going to benefit from these things. But regardless, it's still something that anyone can achieve because it comes with assists. It's not just kills; it's from assists as well. And I think it's going to be fun. That worry on the back of your head of, oh my God, I only have 15 seconds before I die. And you got to like go to find like somebody else to be able to survive. I think that's going to be a fun little rush. I think that's going to be a fun rush.
Travis?
Rev.
I don't even really care if the mode is good or not. I'm just glad that they're trying new things. Honestly, they needed to try new things for so long, and actually, this makes me super happy that I did not do the Iron Lord seal this.
You get it to do it doing okay.
Now I get to do it during a new mode that isn't busted as all hell. So I played a little bit of Iron Banner, with Rift, and didn't really like some of the changes they made, but I do like Rift generally, but it didn't kind of stick with me. So I'm excited to push through on this mode and get Iron Lord next season. But I'm super stoked about this, man. Like, they should try new stuff. Honestly, my one concern about this is that it's too mild. I like that they're doing some stuff, but it's sort of just like, a tweak on a mode, and I kind of want them to just go crazy and try like completely new stuff and just be goofy. But that's just my pessimistic brain that's saying it's never going to be competitive, so might as well make it silly. But yeah, I'm very excited to try this. I am, and I'm going to reserve judgment on whether it's fun or good or anything like that until after I've had a chance to play it. But in the meantime, I'm just letting myself be excited that there's finally going to be a new game mode in Destiny. It's been way too long.
Yeah, I do think it's a little bit of a shame though that it's only going to be 3 times in a season. Right. I do wish they would kind of do like a Crucible Labs and made this a Crucible Labs mode, right? And have some fun. And maybe every week they get a chance to change it up slightly. Like, okay, instead of 15 seconds, you got 10 seconds. Maybe you got 20 seconds, right? Maybe you get way more points or way more super for getting kills while during that 15-second period you have before you die. I feel like they would have had more of an opportunity to really just have fun with it and let the PvP team play with those percentages if they just made it a persisting mode that you can play maybe every other week rather than, all right, I'll see you guys in like a month.
That's
right. I don't know. I guess that's the way I see it with it. I love it. I do like the difference, but
they mention that too, and they say one of the things we learned with Rift in this current season is if we have a brand new mode like the most recent iteration of Rift, introducing it to everyone in a high focus environment first highlights inevitable issues that any multiplayer game has. Instead, we are going to be moving forward with the zone control plan, introducing it as low pressure Crucible Labs first to make sure it performs as intended in a real world setting. Then and only then do we bring the new Iron Banner or the new mode to Iron Banner, albeit with unique twist. We definitely need. We will definitely come back to Control and Rift for Iron Banner in the future, but expect a familiar mode with a unique experience in Season 19. In the meantime, they talk about Rift. So it sounds like they want to do that testing in Crucible Labs, but it also sounds like this is going to be for Season 18's Iron Banner. So literally, it seems like they kind of contradicted themselves. Like, here's this new thing we're going to do, but we're also going to do it in Iron Banner, and the big popular thing when you see it 2 or 3 times in the season. So it's like, unless I read that wrong, it does seem like this will be an Iron Banner. So we're going to experiment on it again, and they'll take feedback and do the changes. So in the future, it sounds like they'll do the Crucible Labs thing, but I guess this one is still going to be coming in maybe a bit hot. Seems like kind of the way Rift was.
I've got more PvP info in the past few weeks than we have in a while.
Yes.
Right. So that's the nice thing, at least,
Yeah, super excited. I was pleasantly surprised to read this. This really excited me, and it's do something new. Let's get creative. This side of the house, we've already talked ad nauseum every last word about how the PvP love is not there. I'm excited. I like the individual aspect to it. I like that multiple people can be primed and do the eruption thing at the same time. The mechanic of being, what is it, the final stage of it with that 15 seconds.
Oh, and you're primed,
yeah. And what I like is it does promote a bit of aggressive gameplay, but it's gonna be fun. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a lot of potential, especially the ability recharge rates and stuff like that. I think that's really cool, just to see that little spin on it. I'm all for it, man. Bungie, to me, when it comes to, first person shooting, gunplay, they're just superior to everyone else. So they started these cool modes in a Halo and things like that. Let's get back to the roots. Let's get back to these creative modes. I'm still gonna die on my hill. Where's my exotic gun game? You guys got the best exotic.
That's got to be like not saying the easiest, but I'm like, that is primed to be a thing. There are 60, 70 exotics, however many there are. You can work through, you need to get, it's like a rumble match. You need to get 25 kills, but everybody's like, you get a kill, use a different exotic. It's like, and you're going to have some lulls and people catch up when you're trying to use a sword against machine guns and stuff's going to go crazy. But that's part of the fun of those things. And the final kill was a knife. It always had to be. So a final kill could be a sword, like same principle.
I look at Fiesta from Halo. I look at that type of stuff. And I think, to me, where it even helps them is that they have so much weapons. StadiaTime made a good point about, like, he does things that I do as far as like using things that are off meta, right? And then you find usage for it and you're like, wow, this is really effective. It's just that everyone is going for this other thing based on the percentages or whatever. But like, imagine starting off with, I don't know, I'm just making up Rat King or whatever, something that's not utilized right now in the current meta, and everyone's forced to start with that as a baseline. You'd be surprised. Sometimes you get better with said weapon, and you're like, wait a minute, this is actually not that bad. Sometimes it is. Bungie has a way of making you do your homework, but then when you do it, you're like, you know what? Remember you were Mountaintop. Remember
that was me on Mountaintop, and now like breach loads I enjoy, even though everybody hates when breach loads come at them, but I enjoy using breach loads because I went through Mountaintop Quest for real, and now I'm not like the best at using them, but I feel like I'm okay when I finally like commit to it for a little while. No, I totally get that. But I mean, you could start with like Rat King and then throw them into Sweet Business. You got a bunch of miniguns, and then everybody has Graviton Lance, and then you're over here like everybody gets, I don't know. I think
fight lion, like somebody we start off
fighting lion. There you go. Exactly.
You gotta level up. All right, cool. Now we get Suros. Now we get this. Like the potential is so there, and it could be so much fun if they implement this stuff.
Yeah, I was like, and that's one of those things. The only thing I wonder there is how they do. It's something where they're to like have to override your character's unlocked exotics. The way they kind of do a Scorch Cannon, where it's like the gun is in your hand in this match, but it's like when you leave, obviously it's not there.
Right, you don't have ownership.
Yeah, you don't have ownership. So that might be
don't have that. Yeah,
right.
That's true.
So that's like
I'm sure there's an issue with like the way the game engine is set up, where maybe just does not allow that whatsoever, and they have to think of some like really creative way to like make it work.
Yep,
that's a good point.
And that's exactly like what behind the scenes thing is stopping that, because it feels like we can't be the only ones who have thought of that. There's however many exotics we talked about, but for them, is it some weird character history thing? Like if I've ever held it, now I can just pull it from collections. Like, what does it do? Now, granted, on the other side of that, even if it wasn't an issue, what if, like, after a certain point, the game unlocks, if you play a certain amount of this mode unlocks after a little while, you got to kind of play for a while, unlock some stuff. They do all the oldest exotics with this thing that, are not quite as cool, or some have been like made up or whatever. It's like, I feel like, which exotics are paid, which are not. It's like, that gets probably a little weird, but it's something I hope they could make work, because as you said, it's primed for it because of the variety of weapons they have. So I'd love to see that.
Fair enough.
What other, would you guys like to see like a King of the Hill, or what other modes would you guys like to see them try? Because they mentioned in season 19, be a familiar mode, but with unique experience. But season 20, season 21, when hopefully we see maybe a new map every so often, excuse me, or maybe a mode in the next year. What would you guys like to see added to the game outside of our little exotic experiment?
Two modes that I've been actually, one mode is not in the game. One mode I've kind of been doing in a private lobby, which is actually a lot of fun. Remember Search and Destroy?
Ooh.
Yes, classic. I really enjoyed Search and Destroy. And so sometimes I'm wondering, what if they had a version like that where there was just a giant payload in the game, 2 of them or something, and then, it was a 3v3, maybe a 4v4, who knows? And then, like Black Ops, you pick up the bomb, you drop off one location, now you get to protect it. And if someone stands inside the zone, maybe instead of having to like interact with it, if the enemy stands inside that zone, kind of like diffusing the mines in the Warden strike, then it cancels. But then people, if they're inside them, it stops it, and you have to fight each other. I'm sure there's some kind of play that you could do with that. But I've actually been having a lot of fun with like an infected type game mode. where we'll go into a private lobby, and then you'll have the way we did it was six hunters and then 1 hunter on the enemy team, and that person had to have their HUD off, and the only way they could kill someone was by killing with a melee. And so everyone else was trying to hide and keep away from them or like defend a little bit. And when that person got that kill, it would swap. You would have to swap from that team onto the other the seeking team, turn off your HUD, and now you could only use the melees. And we kept on doing that until there's only one person left, and it makes it a lot of fun. And I definitely think Destiny could get away with a game mode like that, because that is one that I had a lot of fun with in Call of Duty. You know, it's not a problem borrowing game modes from other games, because if they're successful, you're gonna be able to do it in a special way that just makes it interesting. You know.
Yeah, David in chat literally just asked about what you described. So there's 2 people already thinking that. I mean, yeah, you already have 2 different teams. You could, like, when you die, then you spawn on the other side, you know, drop the HUD, something like that. That'd be kind of cool. Travis, you got any game modes from previous experience that you'd like to see?
I still would like to see them mess around with non-2v2 teams or free-for-all. Like, I want to see 3v3 or 4v4 teams. I think would be cool. There's lots of ways you can make that super fun and interesting. The other way is I would really like... I feel like Destiny is super primed for, like, Juggernaut. You know what I mean? Like a mode where, you know, whoever kills the Juggernaut becomes him, because we already have kind of like a super mode in Destiny, which is you using your super. And so if you could choose like a roaming super, and then you just have infinite super until somebody kills you, and then whoever kills you gets their super. You know what I
Is
mean?
it like however long you hold your super is kind of like your times, that would be like the score?
Yeah, exactly.
Metric? Okay.
You win by being the Juggernaut the longest. I've always thought like Destiny would be perfect for that, because it already has like a magical super powered form. So I've always thought that would be useful.
Have you guys played, I'm assuming you have, Call of Duty Infinite? I think it was Infinite Warfare. They had a game mode where it was like a basketball almost, where you had to pass the ball and bring it to the enemy side and then dunk it inside, like you have to toss it inside of the goal. You know how in the current, or I think last week's Nightfall, the Corrupted, you pick up the ball and you have to throw it to a teammate. Imagine a game mode like that, where you have to pick up the ball, almost kind of like Rift, but you go into third person and you have like 10 seconds before you explode if you're holding it. So you have to toss it to a teammate.
Hot potato
and you have
basketball.
Yeah, almost like hot potato. And you have to bring it to like the enemy side and then toss it into their goal. And someone can jump out and intercept it from the enemy team, right? And then if it goes through, you get the goal. I think that could have a lot of potential to it, I think.
And they've kind of had, it's funny, if even though I cannot stand that raid of Spire Star, they kind of had that mechanic throughout the whole raid where you could kind of throw the football and get the greed off of you. Remember that one part was a little fun, even though they made you do it the whole raid. But a mode would be cool. I think that.
Did you ever do Spire Star?
I did.
You probably didn't, right? Oh,
I think it did it once actually before it got thrown into the vault.
Vaulted.
Yeah. But yeah, I think
sad
I did.
Banana.
Disappointed.
Yeah, sad banana.
Very interesting. But...
Too many jokes, like in everything I say, is just like sad banana and everything else. Just like the mind, just like I can't not. It's just happens all the time with the Banana Bunch, I'm sure. But that's just
hey, when you get a chance to do this, right?
Exactly. Save it a moment.
Throw it at me, baby. I can take it.
Yeah. No, but I mean, somebody mentioned capture the flag. I still would be curious, because I know Rift has it in the middle, and then you pick it up and you push. But if you have one on either side, you have farther to travel, and then you also can bring it back, and it's simultaneous working. We have 6s, so there's enough people. I still would be curious if they would just do a legit capture the flag. I know Rift is probably like their middle ground because they have to make their own, but I mean, as you said, Travis, it's like you don't have to reinvent the wheel all the time. Some of these are just like pre-made things that you can just like bring into your game. And again, same thing like Eruption is probably like a variation on something else out there, but they always have to put their own spin. Sometimes, yeah, just get some more stuff in there. Would be fun. Don't even get me started on Sparrow Racing though. That's
don't get me started. I know.
Yeah. Speaking of hell,
I never got a chance to experience Sparrow Racing, and I feel bad every single. I wake up in a cold sweat every single morning, and I just think Sparrow Racing, Lita. I could have experienced it, and I failed, and I didn't get to do it. Yeah,
it's your fault. It's on Bungie to put them to bring it back.
Can I ask you a question, Stadia Time? That maybe is kind of. Have you ever eaten a banana on stream?
That's like
Can
isn't that cannibalism?
Can I plead the fifth? Actually, if you didn't, I think I'm allergic to bananas. Actually, I don't
Wait,
know.
really? Is this a real thing?
Listen, the last time I've had a banana, it was back in like kindergarten, and I was eating it for like, I don't know, breakfast or lunch or whatever, and like I felt my throat get like closed up almost, and I started choking, and then I spit it out, but then I did it again, and then I think that like scared me ever since then.
You might
like
want
I
to
barely
get
ever
tested
ate.
on that or something for
See,
just to
that's
be
the
safe.
thing. I've gotten tested, honey, and they always say I'm fine. So it's like, who the fuck knows?
Huh.
And so it's like, ever since then, I just don't like the taste of bananas. I mean, I take a banana smoothie, honey, but like regular bananas, no, thank you. That's I think this persona is good enough when it comes to that.
He is one with the banana, but he will not eat the banana.
Yeah, I lead those to what I cannot have almost.
Shout out real quick to the super chat, MRI Gamer again. Thank you for the other one as well. It was just previously just a banana super chat. This one is to support the channel, and because you brought us a man banana, you are welcome. That's what we do here.
Yes.
Yeah, I hope it is. It's one of these things when I sit here and think about it in my head of like, hey, I hope we get, and we just listed off like 6 different game modes. The pace that some of these tend to be coming out, the time they take to test them and then kind of work through some of the bugs and then get them in our hands. We only have about 2 years left of this saga. We don't have a clue, obviously, what happens after that. Some type of continuation. They've said Destiny 2 will live on or whatever, but it is still weird to kind of have that finite nature and be like, you still wonder, it's like, how much effort are they going to put in when there is this, possible 2-year window on? It's like, do we really try and figure out this crazy exotic gun game with this weird code we're going to have to make if it's only going to last for X number of time? Because after this saga, I have to imagine our vaults have to get blown up again. At some point, that's going to happen. There is no way. They got rid of sunsetting, which should have probably stayed around. And then you're telling me if they do like a next saga that I just get to carry my 7,000 weapons from the past years in?
Don't be silly. Okay. They don't blow up vaults anymore. They put things in vaults.
Is anybody else?
Your weapons will get vaulted. Very different. Okay.
What'd you say,
I've
Stadia?
got it. So
Don't worry about it.
Did you say your vault? Did you say your vault's full?
No. Just keep talking. Ignore me.
that was classic.
Yeah, mine is all the time. Don't worry. I live out of my postmaster even at 600 because I'm awful. So yeah, I got to clean it up before the next season. I'm awful. I know. I'm aware. I get crap about it all the time. I fully have accepted my problem. I get it.
Listen, it's not even just that. Like, I'm with Travis. Like, we've already experiencing the sunsetting right now. Like, to me, I've already seen it. It's you have plug 1, but you don't got plug 1 with the origin trait. Oh
no, yeah, the origin traits are like a 2.5. Yeah, they do soft sunsetting. They have to do that with armor at some point because now, especially with like what they're doing is, they're giving you a chance to really roll into your specs. Like, and if you get a 66, a 67, or a 68 that has the stats about where you want them, you're not really. I was trying to skip that one. Hey,
sorry. Sorry, continue. Sorry. It's just things kind of got past your head. No, continue. Listen.
I thought legendaries cannot roll that high. I thought exotics can.
We're talking about exotics. Anyway, continue.
But yeah, it's like that's kind of thing. At some point, they have to do like an armor 3.0, a 2.0, whatever, because too many people are going to have sets of armor that at that point you're just like, okay, what do I need? Switch mods. I still hope that's the thing in Nightfall because we have had armor be pretty stagnant for quite a long time. So I'm hoping that's a thing.
Yeah, and then I look at something like.
So I love when you're like, hold on, what are you doing to? What are you doing to my vault? And I know you're over here saying it's basically happening anyway. That's a big banana. I had to say it. Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah. It was the thing. It was the thing.
Honestly, I feel like I got this week off. This is great.
Travis is like, Travis doesn't have to be like the comic relief. He doesn't have to be on. He's just like, I'm just in chat today. That's
There's
great.
a-
Stadia
yeah.
time, man. You get the day off, man. It's awesome.
Well,
No, I'm just
Travis,
gonna-
if you are ever like busy, I'm just gonna call Stadia to fill in for you, and we're good.
Yeah. That's it.
No, I'm just
Bananas
gonna-
are the ties of food. I don't know. It makes sense to me.
I mean,
Actually,
they're wearing their suit, so you gotta undress them a little bit every time.
Well, I'm already pretty unzipped. I mean, if you wait, hold on, if I just get up, if you just like look at me, I'm already like, oh fuck, I gotta go this way. It's not that much more you gotta really do. It's just like, it's just a little bit more. And then
I love how there's this like slight accordion thing that like the physics
yeah,
of the
like,
banana
wait.
catch up.
Yo.
Okay, that is a little perverse. I don't know about all that.
Oh, you're naughty. Stop it.
He's like, I'm just a banana. What are you saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys didn't watch the video for this show, you are missing out on some gold.
Mhm.
Anyway, literally gold. No, okay.
Yeah, all I was gonna say was just the and also when you look at something like Avarice armor, right?
Yeah.
Again,
It's still in
s-
2
soft
dungeons and that's it.
sunsetting. Yes, soft sunset because you want that as the pristine armor, and then once you get it, your old stuff, you're looking at it like, you don't got that extra slot, so it already masterworked this. So it's slowly pushing us into removing stuff from the vault. and,
If they ever give us armor with even one more energy, everything is everything is useless.
straight up.
Yeah,
And I want that one more
Well-
energy because
Mhm.
they always are like, hey, here's an extra slot, but now you get to just spread that butter a little thinner on the toast than you did
Mhm.
before, as opposed to here's an extra slot. The mods from the artifact still cost something, so I can't have one extra energy for that extra mod. No, okay.
I don't know if
You know
they
what,
have
Mike?
to increase. I don't know if they have to do power creep to convince you to get rid of your armor. I think all they have to do is roll out an armor 3.0, which doesn't even have to be stronger. They just have to not automatically upgrade your armor 2.0 stuff, and you'll switch on your own. Because that's what they do in the past, right?
Yeah.
They just redesign the system,
Yep.
and then they go, "Well, the system you're on is antiquated," and then
Yeah.
you go, "All right, fine, I'll get rid of all my stuff," and they sort of convince you to delete your own crap. That's what they did with weapons.
Yeah. You know how many people who have farmed exotics that are going to be really holding on to those things for a while, though?
Oh yeah.
You're like, I got my perfect
Oh,
Loreley
yeah.
Splendor, and then all of a sudden you're like, you did what to armor?
Not mine.
Back
You know,
into the
one
lost
thing that
sectors we go! No.
Woo! The one thing that I'm wondering is when are they going to add another class armor mod that increases your stats like Powerful Friends and Radiant Light does? Right?
Yeah,
They're currently
I was-
the only two mods that increase by 20.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
By
I think
20.
they realized
Big
it was a
stat bumps.
mistake.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think they like released those two and they're like, uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I don't think we should have done this, but they can't just
Yeah.
remove it. I mean, I guess the fact that they haven't reduced it from 20 to just 10 by
Yeah.
now, maybe it's okay. So maybe they want it to be that way. But
Mm.
the moment they add like a void one that maybe increases recovery by 10 or 20, or increases strength by discipline by 10 or 20, I feel like it's going to push people a little bit more to using different armor, different stuff.
Yeah.
But
It's, no, I see where you're going, Stadia Time. I'm noticed they're pushing also into the 3.0. What is it? The aspect fragment things. Like if you notice a lot of them when you play around with them, there's these huge stat bumps or stat decreases based on how effective they feel. It is. So it's funny you say that. Yeah, I think they're still experimenting. I'm curious if E's gonna get that 3.0 in the way he envisions it, or maybe this is the transitionary phase before we actually get a full on 3.0, a complete revamp of armor on some level.
Yeah, I mean, even Austin in chat said res gives 40% for damage mitigation now, and that was like a recent change. And all of a sudden, everybody's like, well, I need a new set of armor that does that. Because if you're going to go in, I mean, it's like you can either have, like, everybody's like, well, recovery still made the most sense, because if you did get tagged, obviously, getting back into the fight in PvP makes sense. But now if I'm in a Grandmaster Nightfall, if I get tagged and I die, it doesn't matter. But if I get tagged and I don't die, that could be a thing. So it's like there are ways that they can do that. Again, messing with it slowly. But yeah, Lightfall, we discussed this before, is like what big system changes could be. Feels like it might be time for that one, so we can hope. Yeah, Iron Banner will be Eruption. We already talked about that one. But Rift is going to be going into the just kind of rotator playlist. going forward. So you'll see it in there kind of on that weekly rotation basis. They did
Had a
say,
good time with Rift.
I honestly,
Ish. With
yeah.
friends. With friends.
That I believe. That I
With
believe.
friends.
Caveat.
Yeah. Mine was like mercy on either end usually, but the rare moment it was like a true match of tug of war, I was like, just because I was in freelance, I was like, the moments I had those, I was like, this is what it's supposed to be. It just doesn't happen that often. But yeah, 1.5 million players played at least one match of Rift. 300,000 have managed you to reset your rank. 150,000 reset it twice. We definitely hit a few people just right. One player reset their rank 17 times last season, and they did it in 55 hours. Now, my assumption is they did that in the first week with the double rep bonus, because there's no way in hell they did that in the busted second week. Another player played over 133 hours of Rift during season 17. I mean, the number of hours in those 2 weeks, that's not that much that they weren't sleeping and playing Rift. That's a lot of... Yeah, we made you green. Are you sick? Is that too much Rift? Like,
no, he's
I don't know. All this Rift talk
yet.
is just getting me just a little bit under the weather. I'll be
honest. Little green, you know.
Yeah, a little green.
Yeah.
Shout out to the shortened second Rift version.
Yeah,
for the people who didn't have the double experience.
A little blue sometimes, you know.
Yeah, they a little blue right now. Shout out to DJ. What's up? I see you.
Yeah. Yeah, that like the patch, yeah, DJ Oros is out there. He missed that thing by like 1 hour too. He's so mad.
Yeah.
Because he had it calculated and the patch went 1 hour earlier and missed it. But Travis, on the other hand, shows violence. It's fine.
Shows violence.
But they did say, you know, that the number of matches that fully went to time dropped by 10% after they made some of the mercy changes. They also dropped it to 8 minutes. They also said having no mercy criteria to 1/3 of matches ending in mercy. That's a lot, though, I feel like. That means, again, this is where I feel they're soft. And we talked about this last week, and we had Shadow actually kind of pop in, and we had a good discussion. I think the soft skill-based matchmaking and control, it's almost like as soon if it actually does reasonable there, again, don't know if it will or not, but if the soft is like reasonable for most ends of the spectrum, I'm gonna want it more places quickly, and I feel like that rollout's gonna take a while because some of these seasons are gonna get longer. And there's one other thing I wanted to point out. One of my favorite things about the new era of Iron Banner is the new rules we are going to be bringing in each season. While Rift won't be an Iron Banner, it will be in the weekly rotator, available in week 1, 18, and 14. That already tells you next season is longer. So I was going to ask you guys, do you think this upcoming season, we still don't know how long they are, do you think it's your standard, you know, usually they do about 3 months on a cadence, about 12 weeks. Do you think it's going to be, we now 14, how much farther past 14 do you think we're going? Do you think we're getting a 4-month season? Do you think we're getting, is this where we're getting some of that extension?
Listen, baby, if they do a 4-month season, they better bring the heat. They better bring the heat.
Better be kings
or I'm taking that heat to another game after the main things. I'll be honest, I love that. Listen, I love Destiny 2. Seriously, I do. I love it. Just, you know, towards the end of the season, once things kind of get past, if the main you know, seasonal activities don't hit it sometimes, right? There is another season that I can think of, maybe 2-3 seasons ago. I didn't stop playing Destiny 2. I just kept on doing the seasonal activities because it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And that's not to say the new one isn't fun. It's just there's some activities that keep you coming back just because they hit that weird little notch in your brain, and they're fun and they're enjoyable. This season, that was the story. Yep. Right. And now that that story is over and we're waiting for the next season, it's a little bit more calm. So I'm hoping that maybe next season, since they've done a stellar job with the story now, they keep doing a stellar job, but maybe a little bit more focused with whatever seasonal activity is coming out and the things that we get to do for it, that keeps you wanting to play even after the story is over. Right. So fingers crossed, if you're going to make a longer season, you got to have the content in it to really keep people to want to play for that long season.
Yeah. They can't pull out a 30th anniversary pack every time they have a long season. That's
Allie's back.
So yeah, that one, I don't know, like sounds like at least a 4-month though, because you go 14 weeks, that's a minimum. I mean, it'd be 3.5 if you go 14 weeks. I could easily see a 4-month season. I feel like this is something we've talked about. Like we've kind of speculated. So Stadia, we've kind of had our speculations. Where do you see the release date for Nightfall being? Do you expect 12-month release window from Witch Queen would be February. 15-month release window like Witch Queen would be May. Before that, after that, where do you feel Lightfall's gonna land for a hopeful date? Obviously, we won't.
Well, I'm wondering if we're gonna have another Witch Queen situation where they just push it out farther. You know, I know the reason why Witch Queen the last season was expanded was because of the whole pandemic issue going on, and I'm sure that made it really difficult for them to develop things. And so they said, "All right, listen, we need to take this extra what was it? An extra 3 months?
Yeah, Witch Queen is 3 months
around there. An extra 3 months in order to finish this and develop it. And holy shit, they did amazing. They did fantastic with it. And so I kind of am possibly leaning on maybe us having another extended season at some point, and Lightfall maybe coming out a little farther out for them really to get that chance to push in as hard as they can with it. Not that I want that, but if I'm thinking about it, I kind of would prefer, because seeing how Witch Queen came out, if that came out 3 months earlier, think how you can't really say exactly what wouldn't have been made for it, but I'm sure there would have been things that were cut out that really would not have made that experience as amazing as it could have been, right? And so I'm leaning on the longer timetable for that expansion to finally come out.
Yeah. I think you're with us. I'm somewhere in the May department. I think you were what? Were you like April, Cog? Were you like a little shorter than March? You were March, so you're like just about a month. And then Travis is out here in September again, basically, for Lightfall. He's just like, I got other stuff to play. I got reviews to do. Destiny will come whenever it gets here. I got other stuff going on, so no big deal. As long as it doesn't happen around a certain occasion, I think he'll be fine. So, but yeah, other than that, they said they are next season when Rift does come around, they're gonna have a little more AFK protection. They're gonna have a little more standard overtime rules. They also, for future seasons, might experiment with 3v3 Rift. I don't know how that would go if you get a good team versus a bad team, it's just steamroll over and over, but I guess that's what the Mercy's for.
Yeah.
Smaller maps, though, something like Wormhaven, they said. They could use some weird asymmetrical maps like Burnout. I would say just like mess with some of the maps. I think that's what those could be for. Hey, this week if you go jump into Rift, we're gonna have a couple weird maps in there. Let us know how they play. Like, just throw them in there, and occasionally, hey, this is a weird map. This is a cool one. Cool. Fixing scenarios where one team can keep the other one away from the spark, and kill farming. Also, the one with the big bullets is like get rid of less black screen time after scores, because it's just like, okay, we're good again. So they're continuing to refine Rift, and then we're getting like Clash 1.5 with Eruption.
How would you feel if in Rift, when you picked up the spark, the person who had the spark had how do I put this? Died quicker. You had to protect the Rift, because at the moment,
your Resil went down to 0 or something.
Yeah, or something like that, or like weapons did twice the amount of damage on you or something. Because I don't know, with the 3v3, you get a really good team. The person who just carries the spark, I believe you can still shoot while you're carrying the spark. So all that becomes is just shoot. Yeah, one team rolls the other team really quickly because they're just bringing the spark over while killing them quickly. If they make it so the team with the spark has that disadvantage because that third player now has some kind of situation the other two have to protect them, it might give those other teams that opportunity to fight it out. But I'm sure there's a ton of things the development team has been thinking of trying out for Rift, and I'm sure we're going to see some changes here and there, kind of like that along the way.
Yeah, I was thinking just even from the Rift carrier can't shoot, right? So then it kind of puts him in a defensive position where you kind of running with a pack. Okay, protect. Now it's a good time to go. Like, I was thinking more of a rugby football kind of a thing. And there's ways to play with it. I'm curious the decision there with the gunplay. But yeah, I hear where you're going, StadiaTime. Like, that would be. There's things they could do. I feel to tweak it, because if you really have a skilled Rift carrier with gunplay, like. He's gonna do
that Titan shoulder charge and just go all the way, baby.
Oh yeah, there were shoulder charge Titans just like done. Like, it was impressive to watch them if they were on your team, and if they picked up the spark and they dunked. You're like, that was 1 second.
What?
How'd they do that,
bruh?
So, final thing, kind of a cool thing they're doing. They are going to have a community artist that they've already chosen. They've already worked it out with them. They're going to have a community artist actually design an exotic ornament. They're going to kind of do a concept art. Then obviously the in-game artist will have to make it. They did say this will be a paid thing, so they will be paid for their time. The community votes on first which of these 3 exotics, which I'll list off. The email is going to be coming out around August 16th, so keep your eyes on your email. So then you're going to vote on which weapon. Then the artist is going to make 3 variations of ornaments for that exotic, and then we're going to vote between the 3 variations. So I got to ask you guys, and I just want a single answer. Which exotic of these 3 do you want to see an ornament for? Arbalist, Sweet Business, or Rat King? Stadia, which one do you want to see?
Rat King.
Travis?
Sweet Business, baby.
Cog?
Arbalist.
I'm gonna make it a 2 for Arbalist, so I'm there.
Oh, come on, so boring.
No, okay.
Here's my.
Come
I'm
on.
gonna try to make it a tie. Stadia Time, Sweet Business, but the gun has been skinned to look like a banana. It's just one big long banana that you walk around with, and it can shoot like.
He's like, I'm intrigued.
We already went left. We already went left. Continue.
The eyes.
Anyway, that's my proposal. That's me trying to get you. Dude, his eyes.
You
are
know what
so
he was
funny.
doing.
Yeah. Okay, so here's my logic for Arbalist.
And I'm gonna tell you mine too when you're done.
Sweet Business is basically a meme weapon anytime it ever gets used by people anyway. Yeah, it had 1,000 bullets or whatever for the broken perk, but outside of that, unless this is one of those, hey, we were finally streaming long enough to get spammed. Cool. Thanks, guys. But yeah, so Sweet Business, I feel like is just a mean weapon. Not really strong enough in PvE. It's just not. And then PvP, I don't really see it used successfully. Rat King, very specific niche if you're building around invisibility, but outside of that, it's I see a little
Honey.
Woo!
Okay.
Fine.
Have you
From
ever
the
done
unskilled Rat King player then.
I used to main what was the old void bow back before Beyond Light came out, before Sunsetting came out. There was an old void bow.
I know what you're talking
something
about.
with an S. Something with an S.
Yeah, I had one of those for the longest time too.
Exotic?
No. Legendary bow.
Hold on, internet, come on.
Oh, Subtle Calamity. It was Subtle Calamity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got
I
a
used
decent one of those.
I used to main Subtle Calamity into Rat King as a bow swap, and it was at the time, with the meta at the time, was absolutely beautiful. Taking someone's health down to 100 or even 50 health left, swapping to that Rat King, getting a tap or just a single tap, and then taking someone out, and then getting health regen, invisibility to whip out the bow and find someone else close range, because it's a sidearm, you got to get close, but because of that invisibility, you get that option, right? And it was so good, and I haven't seen that at all. I haven't seen a bow swaps. There's very specific weapons that people usually end up bow swapping into. But honestly, a bow into Rat King is a very, very fun time when you start getting that bow rolling. I highly recommend you give it a shot. Rat King can be very good, even if you don't have a team to stack that buff on there. The other ones, Arbalist. I have a special feeling about Arbalist, and it's not good.
In PvP, I think people hate it, but in PvE, I feel like it's going to get used by everyone, and I think that's why, for me, my vote is Arbalist, because I'm going to lean PvE, and that's the one that is going to get used against literally half of the game. So it's the one that I would probably see the most, and that's where I think the artist could probably shine the most as well. That's why I picked Arbalist.
My mindset is completely fashion-based. Sweet Business looks good. There's a gold ornament already that look amazing. Rat King is a sexy looking gun, looks amazing. Arbalist, let's be honest, it is an eyesore. It need a touch up. We need to get take that thing out, buy some clothes, hook it up. You know what I'm saying? It needs a look. It's not a sexy looking gun at all. It's effective. It's it's a Nightfall specialist, and it had its run. It's still semi decent
Yeah,
in the
it's still
Crucible
good.
with the aim assist. You know what I mean? But yeah, Arby, man, hook that thing up so I can actually feel good shooting it. Like I don't feel good the way. Just look at it. It looks
I
like
mean,
a brick. It looks like a bridge.
I was like, there is an ornament this season for Arbalist, by the way.
I don't like it. I saw it.
Did you see the new ornament?
It's a new one.
There's
All right,
an ornament for Arbalist this season, which I picked up when it was actually sold for Bright Dust. It actually looks pretty cool. But still, I'm going to prefer Arbalist just because it's the one I would use the most by far.
Yeah,
so
that thing need a makeover. Let's see what you're.
Yeah, you need to go buy that ornament probably if you can't stand it. But they
Arbalist
said
kind of reminds me of like a kit bash weapon when I look at it. Just the base ornament for it, or just the base look. It looks like a little kit bash thing. And I mean, I'm kind of in the position where like not every weapon needs to have that absolute, straight sex appeal at the moment you look at it, right? Because you build for that appeal with your armor. You know what I mean? You can get a look on it. But I agree. But I listen. I feel you. That's why I use Ariana's Vow with the actual fire ornament. You know what I mean? That is actually amazing. We need more ornaments like that with effects on them, please.
At this Stadia, you gotta have the ornament match the fit. You gotta make. You gotta shoot good and look good. It's a synergy. Like I can't be out there with that toll bridge looking gun that.
Oh my god.
It look like a toll bridge, like a
troll. Like a troll? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I can't with that thing. Man. It's too industrial. Sex that thing up. Make it look hot. Take it out. Give it a makeover. Then bring it back.
Let's go like dip it in Callus's pool of gold and be like, here, it's your COD skin.
No,
give it the bad juju. Give it the bad juju treatment. Bro. Get that gold shader. You know what I mean?
You know how I feel about that. You know how I feel about them Callus shaders, that Leviathan drip. Let's go.
Oh yeah.
So timing-wise, though, depending on when things release, they said they were going to give the artist some time to develop them, and then we would vote. And then it's going to have to get made and put in game. Season 21 is when this thing is coming out. It could be a year. It could be a year from now. Because if we get Lightfall, whether it's March, May, anywhere in there, and then you go 3 months after that for season 21, probably even off of my guess, at a minimum, April or May, June, July, August sometime when we see this ornament, they're going to bring it back up again. We're going to be like, oh yeah, like episode 257 or something when we're talking about this. So it's going to be a minute.
Yeah, I like that they're doing this with the community, though. That's a good look. Get the artists in there, reward the artists. I like that. And ornaments is something that I'm always going to stand behind. So it's a cool little initiative, despite how long it takes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're not rushing the artist. They're giving them plenty of time, which I do appreciate. But yeah, it's like by the time this thing comes back up, I'll have forgotten about it, I'm sure. So that is mostly it for the TWAB. As for Stadia, we got to ask top 3 raids currently that you've played.
Oh god. Putting me on the spot here, baby.
I've never seen a banana with anxiety.
That is my life 24/7. All right, it's just anxiety.
A sweating banana.
Garden of Salvation, honestly, not going to lie, is probably one of my favorite, aside from Deepstone Crypt, because of the spacewalk. Garden of Salvation, in my opinion, is just a beautiful, beautiful raid. I love the looks of it. When you get to that 3/4 area, that last quarter, right before Atheon, that giant garden, I swear to God, every time I do that raid, I just sit there. I just sit there and enjoy it. I just think it's beautiful. And raids like that kind of have those feelings where you can just sit there and appreciate the scenery rather than just the gameplay is something that I really, really enjoy, which is why, the spacewalk, keep that dialogue on, mute all your friends, and just sit there and vibe and just listen to that dialogue and just have a beautiful time. And that's what I enjoy so much about Garden of Salvation is the raid can be a little bit not as user friendly. I still think it's a lot of fun though. You know what I mean? Especially like the second encounter with the harpy and everything, having to make those diagrams and like call out to your teammates like which eye you got to shoot and everything. I think the mechanics are really, really fun. They can be a little bit difficult for Atheon. I agree, it's a little bit weird, but I just think it's a beautiful raid, and so that is my top 3 at the moment. Deepstone Crypt, yes, because of that spacewalk. I think that was such I love it. Just the
A
idea
moment.
of being on the outside, on the outside of that giant spaceship, looking at Europa, listening to, vibing to the music, looking at the galaxies across.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Clovis Bray talking his talk while you're doing it.
Mhm.
Continue. Mhm.
And then, is Vault of Glass the only other one that's available right now? Is it Vault of Glass, Garnet Salvation, and Deepstone Crypt?
I mean, you got Val. You've got
Oh, Vow. Yeah. Vow's kind of in that same kind of. I'm stuck between Vow and Vogue, just because I played Vogue in Destiny 1, I believe, and the emotions and the memories of that are there. So that's kind of what I carry with it. Also, my in-game name is Time. So whenever you hear and you fail at Atheon and it says you were lost in the corridors of time, it just fits.
That just solidifies it right there.
Yeah,
Time.
exactly. Yeah.
Come on. Don't apologize.
I was gonna say you could include Destiny 1 raids in this list as well. By the way,
Yeah, you can include
play
the raids.
them.
Oh, Kingsfall! Holy, what am I doing? Yeah, Kingsfall. Yeah, Jesus Christ! Oh, yeah, and and then also Last Wish. Riven is a bay. Riven is bay. Yeah, Riven is. I am actually trying to get like a Riven plushie. Ironically, I want to get a Riven plushie. I just think Riven
Is that going to be one of those like sleep pillows? Because she's large.
Yeah,
God damn.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you got to use those tentacles or something. Anyways, or maybe a small little plushie. Who knows?
Life-size Riven with okay. Anyway, that is where we. So I had to ask that one. You guys have any more questions for our banana in a cup tonight? He has been fantastic.
Hello, Stadia Time. Absolutely hilarious. Great time. Extremely knowledgeable. Love them strats. I'm going to have to apply some of those that you were talking today. That was really cool. But yeah, man, a lot of fun. Good talk, Twab, too.
Ooh, I never got a chance to bring up my favorite weapon in the game. You said favorite exotic, and I told you it was Ariana's Vow.
Oh,
but
yeah,
did I ever bring up my favorite weapon? Yeah, well, I'm a bow main. I'm a bow main. And there's a very specific bow in Destiny 2 that I don't think gets enough love, and that is my honey Biting Winds.
Really?
And the reason why I love Biting Winds is because it is the only bow in the game currently, precision frame bow, that has Swashbuckler. And the beautiful part about Swashbuckler is when you have it procced, it can one-shot headshot any Resilience Guardians for 5 seconds after a melee kill, right? Charged melee or regular melee. And the way that I play my build, because I already told you guys, I go for those freeze into melees. So a lot of the time that's how I end up wiping teams in trials, is because I'll catch someone on that freeze rift around a corner and I purposely aggressively push towards them. I get that melee, and for 5 seconds I can one-shot headshot, and then if I get a kill, resets that timer back to 5 seconds. You keep on rolling the dice constantly. It is crazy, especially for just getting one shot in Mayhem. If you get one melee kill, it'll body shot. It's hilarious. It'll body shot instant kills. So you just go around, just boom, boom, boom. It's so much fun, and people need to give it a shot. Seriously, Swashbuckler on Biting Winds is a game changer. I would go as far as to say Biting Winds with Swashbuckler is one of, if not the best bows in the game, even contending against Lemonarch. People just aren't aware of it because they don't want to try any other weapons, right?
Well, I actually just got, because I was going through doing a little bounty prep, I got one with Swashbuckler and Rapid Hit on Biting Winds with Reload Masterwork. Not bad. I wouldn't use it the same way you would, but still not bad. Yeah, actually, I mean, that is a bow that I've got. I think I literally have 2 of them masterworked. One is Killing Wind, one is surplus on it for Swashbuckler. Both of them do, and draw time and everything else. So no, I was like, I put some time in with that bow. It does feel pretty good. I will say about bows in general in Destiny, I never expect when they're like a bow in a gun game, I'm like, what?
Why?
And then I get it in my hand, I'm like, I love bows.
Yeah.
I've actually, I think in most of my solo Flawless Destiny or dungeon runs, almost all of them have included a bow for some section. I think I can probably figure that one.
I mean, it's nice to have that really long range, high damage.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I mean, usually scout rifles can take that spot, but with bows having gotten a damage buff for red bars, I believe, in PvE, it's nice having a weapon that you can do those long range shots. And a really fun PvE bow I think the new Strident Whistle can get this role, and Wolf Tone Draw.
Yeah, Wolf Tone's my baby. Yeah.
Wolf Tone with Harmony is beautiful. Shoot to loot Dragonfly. Because in PvE, when you kill a PvE enemy, that Dragonfly will automatically pick up any ammo they drop because of shoot to loot. Doesn't work in PvP for some reason, but PvE, very, very nice for long range, like high Nightfall, I guess, gameplay where you're running out of special, you're running out of heavy. Oh shoot, you killed that one red bar, that one yellow bar with a one shot explosion. Boom, you got all your ammo back if they dropped anything. It's great. It's a lot of fun.
Nice.
I didn't know Dragon procs the shoot the loop. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've been trying to get incandescent with something decent on that bow, and I finally got. I'm like 2 resets into Vanguard, so I'm still trying to get that one with incandescent just to explode some heads for entertainment value. But yeah, no, I've been enjoying. I'm glad to see we have another solar bow back because that was scarce territory for a while. Yeah. Well, Mr. Stadia Banana Cup, it has been absolutely fantastic.
Stadia in a banana cup. Oh my goodness.
I feel like you need to like fill the cup up with a little bit and then like lean back to the side where you're like just soaking in the tub kind of situation.
Well, I mean, I had a few other things over here I was going to like throw up or something, as we were like just practicing or just talking about certain stuff. You know what I mean? Remember how earlier I said like, hey, is anyone into Attack on Titan? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? A little stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
Yo. One of the ones that I was practicing with, that I was just like rising up, and on the stream, I'll just have the music, like the theme song playing, and I'll just like. And it's just so much fun. So yeah, I got a few things like that I usually do.
What else do you got? This is how we finished it up. If you're not watching video, you're missing
the
it.
Spider-Man kiss you said that was one.
Oh yeah, we could probably have to do that Spider-Man kisses sometime, right? I mean, if we didn't, I'd have to fight you. So it's kind of like whatever.
I saw you bringing out that saber.
It's always a little bit of a gymnastic thing because I actually got to get up. Contrary to popular belief, I actually physically do every single little thing I'm doing. So if you saw me in real life, you think I was really fucking weird.
Yeah. Your spouse comes in, babe, do we need to have you checked? Is everything okay?
All right, time to do some gymnastics on it.
All right, let's see what we doing. Okay, careful now. Okay, careful.
Oh, fuck.
He said, he's hold on. Okay.
I love how he's like flailing.
Wow, this is talent, y'all.
I gotta find my angle here. Listen, it's not easy to do a handstand while you're a banana.
Yo, there we go.
He dove in his cup.
Right,
there it is.
There it is. Yo,
if you can do a handstand at all, that means that's
talent. That's talent.
Love that. Woo. Okay. All right.
Salute.
Final thing. Apparently, we need an anime intro.
Oh, I do have an intro that I do for my things. The only issue here is the fact that you can't hear the audio. The audio is fun, but I can play it. You might have to. I saw you cropped my my thing a little bit tighter. So unless you open it up just a little bit so you can see the rest of it.
Hold on.
One of the fun things that I've done with the stream is those custom little intros that I'll do for fun. So one of the fun ones, I'm just going to put it to the BRB screen that I have, is this.
That's funny. That's
kind of perfect.
Salute, StadiaTime in the building.
Bug peel, perfect. That's
beautiful.
Oh, that's great.
If you guys don't watch this man's streams, you are missing out on a lot of entertainment. So please make sure you go find. Well, now's the time. Tell everybody where they can find you, what you do, what's the schedule, any and all things. The platform is yours to say it all. So.
Yeah, so I'm mostly at the moment active on Twitter, and that's just because, I just landed a new job, so now I'm trying to figure out apartment stuff. I got to move out by the end of the month, so when it comes to streaming, it's a little bit difficult for me to do right now. I haven't done it since the Bungie charity fundraiser that I was asked to do.
Salute.
Oh yeah, it was a really fun time, honestly. Like anytime I get a chance to raise money for that cause, it's a fantastic time, seriously. But you can find me StadiaTime, spelled exactly like that, on both Twitter and Twitch. And then on YouTube, it's just time. I don't use YouTube as much, but I'm starting to just post any like little meme videos that I post on Twitter, which is usually where it goes. But yeah.
Oh,
Very nice.
Fantastic time. I gotta enjoy the content. I love what you're doing, community. Just having fun. You know, the creativity with it. It's a unique thing, and you've created a lane, and you have made this your own. And I absolutely love it. It's hilarious. Sometimes I can't look at you directly because I'm going to keep laughing. So I'm trying to like.
Okay, well, actually, the greatest thing about just doing this and not just having a camera is when I do trials carries. If we ever get beaten really, really, really bad because we're doing a carry versus, and then it's a 3-stack or something, and they jump into the stream and they're like, haha, shitter, and laughing. Like they look at the banana and they're like, what? and then we just have a good time. Or like when we beat a team, right? And then maybe they come in and maybe they're all angry. You can't get angry at this. Come on,
get mad at
you're gonna look like a fool. Yeah, so it's like, you know, it's exactly. So it's just a fun way to like diffuse the situation.
It is the ultimate icebreaker.
Yeah, seriously.
Salute.
I do have to ask, Halloween. Please tell me you've been a banana for Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I was like, that
there's a picture that's floating around in my Discord server of my Halloween costume.
Nice.
Oh yeah, and during Halloween, I try to, the other nice thing about this is during seasonal events, I can just go a little wacky. So instead of being in a mug, I was in a little pumpkin. I was a little pumpkin with a little fire inside of it. It was a lot of fun. We do we do some fun little seasonal things when it comes to just.
You'll be easy to spot at GCX next year in your banana costume, so that'll be perfect.
Costume and not the hammock. Just joke.
Yeah, if you wear the banana hammock out of the pool,
your lines were applied. Okay, we'll make sure the homie's okay.
Let's talk about those cones, baby.
We finally found somebody who dressed weirder than me. I'm very happy about this. Feels good to feel normal, y'all.
Your tie guy gimmick, it's over now. That's today's news.
Yeah, like he's always here in suits. Like this guy's like half banana peel over here. What's happening?
Yeah, you guys give me shit for wearing a 3-piece suit at GCX. Wait till I'm standing next to this guy.
Too funny. No doubt.
Well, gentlemen, my co-host, what else you guys got coming up this week? Anything to call out or, things to look forward to? Travis?
Yeah, my review of Digimon Survive will probably be up early next week, probably Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll have a preview for Construction Simulator, probably around the same time. You can check out my review of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 on IGN.com, and you can follow me on Twitter at TagGuyTravis if you want. And it's exciting. Great to have you on the show, Stadium Time. Feel free to come back at a later date. And I look forward to see him later.
God, you get cuter by the second. No, I seriously, I had a fantastic time. I really appreciate it. I think there's something really fun and enjoyable about having like a group of people to speak to at the same time. On a one-on-one thing, it can be very nice. It's very, it's an intimate thing. You talk to each other and you throw things back and forth. But when you have like an entire group of people being able to talk about stuff, it just feels like you can keep on going forever, and especially when you got a group of guys like you that just radiate that absolute appeal. You know what I mean? So
nice.
Man, this banana is trying to butter us up over here.
Yeah, he let that one slip. All right, Cog, what do you got?
Hey. Oh, you.
The point. My lord. This is too much.
This is a classic episode. Clearly, again, salute to Stadia Time. Absolutely hilarious. A lot of fun. Great time. Me on Twitter at LordCognito, on Lord Podcast every Sunday. Don't want to jinx the guests because if it doesn't happen. But all right, I'll say it. We're supposed to have Jason Rubin from Naughty Dog, the OG, supposed to pull up. The creator of Crash Bandicoot, creator of so many of classic franchises. So hopefully, it still is on and it will go down. So we'll do that. And then check out me and Maddie on Defining Duke. should be up for patrons. Go check that out. Talking about everything that's going on in the industry, all that good stuff, and support some other Lords of Gaming. That man, I know we ain't IGN and everything, but we got some cool people over there. They're kind of cool. Check it out. And shout out to also me and Maddie. We did a As Dust Falls spoiler cast, so check that out. We'll learn about the game after you played it, your choices, and all that good stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. What about you, E? What's going on?
First thing I want to say thank you, Stadia, for joining us. Seriously, you're welcome back anytime. If you're like, all right, I haven't talked to people about Destiny in a while, I feel like it's time, hit us up. You are welcome. This was way too much fun. I figured it would be. I don't know if I figured it would be as much fun as it was. So thank you for an absolute blast. If you guys did not catch, if you listen to us in audio form, we appreciate the listens, but I will recommend you go check out the video, whether it's on Iron Lord's podcast or on my channel. Either one is well worth the watch. Even just skim through for a couple of fun moments there. Great. The last 5 minutes apparently could be worth it. Alone. And yeah, for me, kind of working on that possible review game that I got early access to. Cult of the Lamb comes out Thursday next week. And then I'm just trying to slowly spread out a little bit of bounty prep, because then we have the 3 or 4 days of absolute hell at the start of the season between trying to cover what's going to come out, guides for that, and then the raid on Friday. It's going to be a busy few days. So that's kind of what I'm trying to spread things out and work on stuff around the house as well. I literally just got done doing something else in my house today. So yeah, good times. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, chat. You guys were hilarious. Stadia, Travis, Cog, thank you all for being here tonight. Absolute pleasure. Pleasure was ours on this one, I'm pretty sure. So thank you all for being here for episode number 209. We will see you guys next week with Legionless TV. Thank you guys. Have a good one. And for this episode, it has been
The last
word.
I got to point to the screen again. Here we go.